Hello everybody and welcome to another episode. Now, in the last video that I did, I mentioned that I would do two short videos, one on the carb tuning and another one on setting up the 123 ignition that I have on this car. As I mentioned before, the engine in this car right now is actually going to go into my Carb gear. It's in this car right now just so I can put some miles on it, run it in and test it, etc. So this is going to be a quick video because it's cold, it's getting dark, and I have shorts on, which is ridiculous. So here we have a completely standard 1300 engine that I've just finished building for my Carb gear project, and I'm going to show you how I tuned the carb up. And I got the information from the internet from other YouTubers as well, and I kind of mixed a bit together and it seemed to work. So this is basically your throttle linkage. So when you put your foot on the accelerator, this comes down and it has a return spring that brings it back. So I don't know if you saw, but when I pulled that, this lever moved down, and that lever there is actually your choke. So that closes a flap to let less air into your carburetor to create a richer mixture for cold starting. So the first thing you want to do, that just came down because it's very cold, like I said. So we'll put that back up, and this is the resting place for this idle screw when the engine is warm. So what you want to do, you want to adjust this so it is just touching the choke lever. So only just touching, no more than that. I think one of the comments I read is that you should turn it quarter of a turn. Other people said just touching. So either. Behind the vacuum advance pipe you have two screws, a big one and a little one. So the bigger one is your idle adjuster, and the smaller one is your air volume fuel mixture. So as a starting point, there was a few different options that people had mentioned, but I went for one that seemed to work, and they said screw both of these in until they bottom, but be very careful, don't screw them in too hard just as they stop, because you can actually damage them very easily. So screw these two in clockwise until they stop, and then you screw out the larger one, your idle screw, 2.5 turns, and then you screw your mixture screw out 5 turns. So once you've done that, you can start the engine, leave it running for 5 minutes and let it warm up and give it some throttle, and then see when your choke comes off. So I'll give you another demonstration there. So that's in the run-in when it's warm, and then as you can see, when I pull this out, the choke clicks out and it's actually closing the choke butterfly. For setting up your choke, you have this coil inside here that is energized by the electric current that comes off of your coil. So when that coil warms up, it actually then turns the choke into the open position. And you see there's two marks on here. There's a mark on the actual choke, and then there's 3 lines on the body of the carburetor, and I have just put that line on the middle line that's on the carburetor, and it seems to work really well. So I'm going to start this up, get it warm, and then go to the next step. Okay, I cheated. I didn't actually warm the engine up, but I put it into the where it would be if it was warmed up. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to screw this idle screw in until you get to 900 RPM. Now, some people do that by ear and it can be pretty accurate, or you can get a timing gun which has the reading for your RPM on it. But what I used was actually the app for the 123 ignition, because it has this Bluetooth, and you have an app on your phone and it tells me what the RPM is. But if you don't have that, then you can best do it by ear and be quite accurate anyway. So as I mentioned, you screw this out 2.5 turns, and then you slowly screw it back in until you get 900 RPM. Once you've done that, because you've moved this out 5 whole turns, you want to start screwing that in, but very, very gently, because it's very sensitive. So you screw this one back in until the revs get at their highest point excuse me, get to their highest point before they start dropping off. When they get to their highest point, you want to screw it in just a little bit more, 25 to 50 RPM, and then you may need to readjust your idle screw to back to 900. Take it for a drive, see how it drives. When I did that, the car wasn't too happy starting again when it was warm, so I actually backed it out a little bit more. The mixture screw, I backed it out maybe 1/4 of a turn, something like that, and that was kind of the spot I needed. Every engine is different, every carb is different, they've worn differently, maybe they're new, maybe they're old, whatever. So bear that in mind, that the initial adjustment may not be the final place that the engine is or the carb is happy with, or the combination of the two. So you may have to just readjust as you go. Also, another method that you can use, which I've also used, is that with your mixture screw, if you screw it in very slowly until the engine starts to bog down, then you unscrew it anti-clockwise 1/2 a turn, and that will give you a rough adjustment for you to take it for a test drive and give it a few more tweaks and see what your engine is happy with. Your carb roughly dialed in with those settings, it's a good idea to go for a few test drives, have a little tweak with the mixture screw, 1/4 of a turn one way, back the other way, and see what feels best. You will know immediately if it's more responsive and smoother, etc. Anyway, that was my quick video. I'm going to get some trousers on and I'm going to go home. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you like what you see, and I'll see you next time.